The thing with Dad is that Dad is normal, which makes him the weirdest one because he should be the one looking at the family talking about, what the fuck?
Hey, y'all need to chill the hell out. You need to stop making these weird ass dolls. Stop cutting the heads off dolls, little girl. And I don't even know if you my son. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah, go over to ttmerch.com. Get yourself a shirt, and it might help out a little bit. Get yourself a jersey, a beanie, a phone cover. Get yourself the gift of choice right there. Park West give you all the details you need. Times the show starts, when doors are opening, the date, price, everything, including venue. So please, please, please let us see you over in Chicago. Become a subscriber. Many ways you can do that. You know the way it is. Credit card, sell your ass. Amazon pay button, username, password, all toasted goodness. Shit, it's Friday. I don't feel like doing all that.
Sell your ass on Amazon.
Yeah, sell your ass on Amazon. They sell everything else. So let's get into the reason why we're here. At least one of the reasons why we're here talking about Hereditary. Boy, I gotta tell you something. I was here on Wednesday, Mr. Corey Goodwin and Mr. Martin Thomas, and I said, yeah, you know what? I'm hearing all these people talk about this movie, Hereditary. Scariest movie of all time, according to that hipster at Sundance.
Yep. It's cold and I'm drunk. This movie is so scary.
Oh, my God. Yes. But I knew that my boys over here, they said, you know what? They'll tell the truth. And sure enough, Mr. Goodwin came in here along with Mr. Thomas, and I believe you said that it ain't bad, but it ain't very good either.
Not really. It's not that scary. I think I got a lot more laughs out of this than I did jumps and screams. But it is a beautiful film. The artistry, like I said, is amazing.
Yeah, yeah. And Thomas, he pretty much he was on the verge of, man, fuck this.
I was waiting for him to say some old bullshit. I was like, uh-oh.
Yeah. First, y'all know Martin ain't too crazy with the horror. And then second of all, he don't like that art film.
Nah, I remember when y'all had the what was it, mother argument?
Oh yes. Oh, Martin said, you know what, dude, and if there's anything I hate more than horror and some snobby ass art film is when you make a snobby ass art horror film. So I said, you know what, I believe these guys, but I just go see for myself what I think.
I'm intrigued, man. I really want to know how you feel about this movie.
Well, let me not waste any more time. Let me go ahead and get into the review. First, we're going to show you the trailer, show you another trailer besides the one we showed Wednesday, and then I'll come in and tell you how I feel about supposedly the most frightening movie ever. Oh, shit. God damn.
She had private rituals, private friends.
Who's gonna take care of me?
You don't think I'm gonna take care of you?
But when you die...
After I've experienced the most horrifying movie ever, which is bullshit. It is not the most... No, stop it. No, quit this shit now with the hyperbole, with the hype, with the bullshit. This is not the scariest movie ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at this, and if that's what I told you, that's what disappoints me, man. You guys are right. This is not the scary. Now, I'm only speaking for myself, but really, I do feel like this is hype, man. And like I said, it just takes a couple of drunk hipsters who are at a film festival to influence the crowd and then influence the rest of the world, and then on top of that, the studio takes it, and then they run with it. You saw in this trailer right here, if you were watching it, all the blurbs, and most of these people were at the festival. Oh my God, I'm not gonna ever sleep again by myself. You know what I mean? No, come on.
Dracula there?
Yeah.
By myself.
It scared Dracula. It's so scary. I've seen this most horrifying movie ever. Every year, we come out with the scariest movie ever.
Yep.
You can follow several movies. I don't know. Babadook at one time was the scariest movie ever. Just a few years ago, It Follows. Scariest movie ever. Every year they tell you if you want a career in horror, forget about it because you're never gonna top this. Right here.
Every 6 months, it can't be topped.
No, it is not what I believe is the scariest movie ever. I do believe that some people are convincing themselves of that because they want to go in, that's what they want. And the movie is freaky enough to probably cross them over that line.
Well, now we're talking about, the scariest movie ever. What would you say is one of the scariest movies ever? Because, I mean, for me, I would probably say like something like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
Something like that, where it's like, all right, I could see where people would go in, they'd be disturbed, they'd be creeped out, they would go home and be like, all right, maybe I should keep a Bible on my nightstand or something like that. But like, is there anything like that for you?
See, now this is where I have to separate myself from the hype, because when I say scariest movie ever, I do have to admit that I'm speaking for myself.
Right.
Now, first of all, supernatural stuff does not really scare me all that much. The Exorcist, since I was a kid, I saw The Exorcist when I was like 6, and I was in a room full of girls because my sister had like a big slumber party, and all these girls were screaming, and I was just I screaming and all over each other, and people like, man, that sounds hot. I was just laughing at the experience. I mean, that was my first experience. I'm not trying to say that I'm above that, because there are some things that have scared me when I was a kid. I was a scary little kid, but supernatural stuff never really scared me.
Okay.
So human cruelty scares me. If you give me something that's tense, that scares me. Cube is one of the scariest movies to me, because I was on the edge of my seat. If you haven't seen Cube, it's a movie about people who are trapped in a room, and every room is rigged with with a trap, a deadly trap. And I was just scared of anticipating how these people are going to die. I personally was not scared of this film. I understand how people can be, and that's because I'm separating myself from the hype, from the actual movie. You take that out, this is a movie that I really do admire, and I'm looking at it from an angle of just pure filmmaking, and from that filmmaking angle, I can see how this could push people over the line of making them think that they've seen the most evil movie ever made. Okay, and I say that because this is a movie where the direction creates an experience that is sticking with people, man. They see all this freaky stuff, and they just leave with this still on their minds. Basically, it is fucking up people's minds. Yeah, and they can't handle it. They've seen some shit. Yeah, after they walk out of this.
Yeah, I mean, if again, because we got to kind of not spoil things,
of course.
But yeah, I could understand somebody going into this, especially if they have a fear of, as you heard her saying there, her mother was a little off at some point.
Yeah.
Fears like that, and then some of the more creepier aspects they get into towards the end of the film. I could completely understand that if you're that type of person that's afraid of those kind of things.
Yeah. Because I mean, listen, I know some people who, they would freak out behind this. Some people can't stand to see the sight of blood whatsoever. Some people don't like the mere mention of evil or the devil in a movie. That scares them so much.
Right.
And with this movie, it has a lot of elements visually and storytelling wise that can really get under people's skin. This movie is, while flawed in some parts, it does, first of all, what a lot of horror movies fail to do. And that is, they leave you no mystery at all. This right here is nothing but mystery. I mean, it's freaking people out because it's not telling them anything at all from the very beginning. There's so many things happening here that they're not bothering to explain. The tension is created by making things abnormal from the very beginning. I mean, before any kind of horror element kicks in or anything, because in a lot of sci-fi and horror movies and stories, the whole structure is, things sure are normal, and then something comes in to disrupt it.
Right.
A meteor from outer space, aliens, a ghost, demons, a radioactive monster, something.
Right.
It was a quiet, sleepy town.
And then the aliens.
And then aliens.
Damn it.
Right from the beginning, they throw your ass into the crazy end of the pool, and you're almost drowning in it.
Yeah, because it starts with one of the shots that we just saw in this trailer is just the side of those little miniature houses, and zooming into that is like, what are we doing here? Okay, that's weird. Somebody just walked into this house.
Yeah, I thought that was so great the way this began too with this house. It almost opened up like a play.
Right.
You know, and it does feel like it's the most insane, sickest play you've seen that's dealing with family dysfunction. You know, you see a lot of plays, they set up the stage, and I think that's why they did that shot right there, showing you all the different stages of this house and the, you know, which are going to represent the different parts of these people's lives. And, you know, from the beginning, this family, they're not dysfunctional, they're weird.
Yes.
They're not, you know, understand me. Dysfunctional is when you constantly arguing. No, these people individually are little slices of insanity. Mom has a weird job. Paint miniatures. Nobody even knows what these miniatures are for.
Yeah.
You know why? But somehow she's making a living doing this, and they're creepy.
Yeah, and she's doing them like, apparently she has, you know, she's able to either sell these or show these somewhere. But then she's also doing them for herself.
Yes.
So it's like, what? So do you like this? But you, okay, whatever, fine, go for it, so, Miss Colette.
She has an obsession with doing these miniatures. Everything that goes on her life, this is her therapy for dealing with it.
Right.
And a lot of these things, believe me, there's a lot of shit that goes on this family. If you make a miniature, it's like it is the sickest action figure set you ever had.
Yeah,
you know?
and like one of them she goes into and like I'm pretty sure a joke came from it, but I don't know if I was supposed to laugh. But you're like, all right, you probably shouldn't have done this, because like imagine what happens if one of your family members sees this. You're like, oh, chill. I was like, no, you can't say that.
Yeah, y'all should at least talk about this before you do something.
Yeah.
The daughter in the family. And you know what? And these people are the actors in here are they all do a good job. Everybody looking at this weird girl right here, Millie Shapiro. The thing is with her, she's weird. First of all, you see she got like they make her look crazy, I'm sure, that she does in real life. They give her like a Hills Have Eyes mutant face.
Yeah, it looks like she's wearing a mask.
Yeah.
Like a human mask.
Yeah. And she's on her way to being a serial killer. She collects dead animals and likes to, you know, make little toys out of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they never explain why this girl is sitting in a normal classroom. She needs special ed.
Well, no, that's the thing. They have her in a normal classroom, and like you see when she's able to like interact with either her teacher or interact with her family members, like she's decently spoken. Like she seems like she can function in a normal class, but it's just something that's off about her that you can't figure out. So you're like, all right, maybe you shouldn't be in here. Maybe you should be seeing a therapist or something like that.
Yeah. Besides her look and her making Boba Fett action figures out of dead mice heads and shit, you know? Yeah. You know, girl she seems kind of normal. But that's the thing on the you know, the dark side of it. Like she's doing all these weird things. Alex Wolff plays the son, who's always smoking dope, and he's either dope is a harsh word. He's just smoking weed, but the thing, he's always spaced out, or he's shady. He's always looking like he's plotting something.
Is it because he's darker than the rest of his family? You don't know where he came from?
Yeah.
It's like, wait, you're their kid? Like, how did this happen?
And you do wonder, like, did somebody leave this kid on their porch or something?
Yeah.
You know, and the weirdest part of it is Dad. Gabriel Byrne is Dad. The thing with Dad is that Dad is normal, which makes him the weirdest one, because he should be the one looking at the family talking about, what the fuck?
Hey, y'all need to chill the hell out. You need to stop making these weird ass dolls. Stop cutting the heads off dolls, little girl. And I don't even know if you my son. Get the hell out of here.
The family is already set up to be weird themselves. And then they suffer tragedies. And before, again, any kind of horror element hits with this family, you know that whatever they're going through, they don't talk about it. They avoid it. They make weird things about it.
Yeah.
But they make toys of it, you know, play sets, but they don't talk about it. It's almost passive aggressive. And the tension is already set up at the beginning of the movie with you just waiting for this to explode. It's almost, you know, you've been in a room where you're not part of the family, but the family's arguing, they're about to blow up.
When you spend the night at your white friend's house,
like
something's happening, and you're like, did you just call your mom a bitch? Oh, this is about to go down.
Yeah, fine, release me. Just say it. Just fucking say it. Don't you swear at me, you little shit! Don't you ever raise your voice at me. I am your mother.
See, this is abnormal for white families.
Yeah, that's what you said at the table, like.
Because my mama and my daddy would have got up and whooped my ass right then and there.
Immediately.
I would have been on the floor.
Say what you got to fucking pop.
Shit, fucking, I would have got the fuck.
Yeah.
You know, no, man, you know, this is moments that you're waiting for. These little pockets of the film where you're waiting for these to explode. or something that happened, something to be revealed that's even worse. And grandma's dead.
Yeah.
And she's still fucking with the family.
Yeah. Leave you this note. I had to. What? All right.
Yeah. Grandma leaving crazy shit from the grave in the form of diaries and everything. I mean, it just doesn't end. So this tension that is set up, it's there before anything crazy even happens. It's like I was telling you, this director, and I forgot his name.
Ari
Aster, I think, yeah. Like, if you're familiar with some of his work, like Strange Thing About the Johnsons, if you're familiar with this, then again, you know that this guy will take the familiar family surroundings and make it horrifying.
Time for Din Din. He is a murderer.
Yeah, man. This is not so much a horror short, but it feels like one at times. It's structured like one, and he's kind of, this director brings that to this movie with the family dynamic. So you see what I'm saying? I mean, I'm admiring a lot of the filmmaking here.
Yeah, like that's when we first reviewed this. One of the big things I liked was the artistry and the storytelling up to a point with it, because you do enjoy that dynamic of, all right, what's going on here? I enjoy the mystery of it. That scene we just showed there with them at the dinner table. That was one of my favorite scenes in the movie, was because it's like, all right, we're seeing things come to a head, because for the most part, everything had just been microaggressions and subtle. So when we finally get somebody exploding on somebody, like, all right, let's see what this turns into. And when that happens, you kind of get a cathartic release.
I jumped, and it's not because I jumped because it was a horror movie jump scare. Parts of the movie they're done so effectively. Pockets of storytelling pull you in before the main story really hits. There are things that happen that really make you go, shit.
Yeah, there's a specific scene in here that we kind of alluded to.
Yeah.
Where, it's something like, I don't think I've seen that in a horror movie, especially with somebody like this.
Oh, no.
That it happens. It's creepy. It's disturbing.
You will have images that will just, you will be repulsed by them. You will just stand back and be like, oh my God, I wish I had never seen that. And all of this is, a lot of slow building with these pockets of tenseness, so that when they finally do ramp up to the real hard part, you're like, oh fuck, you just want to run. I mean, because when they get to the real hard parts, they have they play it up for straight horror. They have the visuals to go with it. They have the they have the mechanics of horror in place to go with it. And for the most part, at that moment, and I will say that it's a very small moment where you're getting a horror film. You're not really, this whole thing is more of a family thriller than it is a horror film. But by the time it gets to that horror moment there, if that's what you want, I think they did save it for the last part, which is where you should end it, and listen, I know the movie's slow, but I do think that they do that for a reason. Could have been sped up a little. I'll tell you that right now, but I think what is working for it is that it's slow because these things happen to just let these moments of dread just sink in. There's just moments of dread that you are and that's what's getting to people. It's just one moment of dread after another because it's just taking its time, and you sit up there just thinking about these things and waiting for the next. Once you see how bad things go and they keep getting worse, you wait for the next bad thing.
Yeah, and like with people who have issues waiting for a horror movie to kick in and do its thing, this is definitely not the movie for you. If you saw It Follows, you're like, man, I wish this monster would run instead of walk. It's the dread that's supposed to get you and bring you into it that makes you more, I guess, horrified and have more fear for these characters. But I mean, and I'm sure we'll get to it at some point, but when the end happens, I think it's going to be two roads at this very end. Either you love the way this ended, or you completely despise the way it ended, because it felt completely different than what the film was going for.
I did not like the ending, and like I said, there were some problems with this movie that I definitely see what you guys were talking about. There are, okay, you know what? They have attempts at creepiness in this film, and again, I don't want to make a race thing out of this, but it's white people shit. I mean, and what I say is real white people haunted house shit. And when I say that, I'm talking about, like I said before, the stereotypes that white people should be mad about. Just doing dumb things in the middle of a haunted house or in the middle of danger. This movie does so much dumb shit near the end of it, and they do it at the sake of like trying to create tension and trying to create scares. characters go through a hallway in the darkness, knowing that something bad is happening, yelling for somebody else, when the lights work.
Yeah.
This ain't a haunted house where you going through there and you got to be in darkness. The lights, they pass by a light switch, you're like, Mama, you in there? Meanwhile, Mama freaking the fuck out. I mean, little things like that, something's wrong. The front door is right there. You don't even have to cut on the lights. Get the fuck out.
And you know how to drive.
Yeah, you know how to drive.
The car is right there.
The light switch is there. The car is there. The front door is there. Keys in your pocket.
Yeah.
Uber up on your phone. I mean, you ready to go. And you still walking through here. You there? You know what I mean? That's dumb shit. No matter how much you try to put logic in, no matter how crazy this movie is.
Yeah, and that's what the thing is, man. Like I really liked I think this movie's like 2 hours and 7 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, it is.
And I really liked like the first hour and 40 because they were dealing with stuff that was like, all right, this is grounded. We're getting hints at, all right, maybe it's this, maybe it's that, maybe this is somebody seeing this way other than how other people are seeing it. And they drop hints, and even the title of this movie drops hints of like maybe that's the case.
Yeah.
And then they just drop that, and it's like, here's the end of your movie. You're
Yeah.
like, wow. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. People running through a house smelling something bad and don't check it for days. That's peculiar, And then when they
That's weird.
Yeah, and they actually say that. What's that smell? That's a weird smell. And believe me, from what they're smelling, ain't nobody gonna be in the house 3 days smelling that shit without calling. You gonna call like an exterminator or something.
Yeah.
You gonna call animal control. You gonna try to figure out what it is.
And this is like a rural spot in Utah. This movie takes place in Utah. So like if they're smelling something wild, like everything else is gonna smell like pine trees and things. So the second you get like a funky smell of something, you're gonna be like, there is something either in this house or like somebody's playing the worst joke on me. So yeah, you would know that something immediately is wrong.
Yeah, you live in Pine Sol County.
Yeah. It's so weird.
You live in the land of them little green trees, man.
Yeah.
You are not gonna do that. Dad just a little bit. I'm beginning to think the dad was just retarded in this movie.
He a little slow.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
The daughter
here.
got his gene.
Yeah. That's where his hereditary came
That's
from.
the hereditary part.
Well, I don't know. Everything. Hey guys, stop. Just stop. Come on. Let's be a family.
Yeah, man. Like that was one of the things. And then like I said, the first hour and 40, like they'll start introducing characters who come in to play, a role. And that was stuff like I thoroughly enjoyed. Ann Dowd coming in as one of the as a friend of the family, and you're like, all right, I wonder like why is she here? What is her role? What is this? So you're uneasy with her. Toni Collette and everything going on with her in her life. You're like, all right, I'm uneasy with how you're being around your kids and your wife and your husband and then everything else going on in the town. Like I feel like you're seeing this a different way than everybody else is. Like I'm digging this.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of falls apart at the end.
Yeah. And you're right, Ann Dowd. You've seen her in The Handmaid's Tale. She actually comes in. She's very good. She's a very good actress, man. So your performances you don't have to worry about. And even then, when I say that all this freaky stuff is happening, and even with the people doing things that are not that you wouldn't do, I do have to pull back and say people who are not acting normal. For me, that even feeds into the nature of this film, because all these weird things that are happening, at one time they seem like they're just weird to be weird, but those are small MacGuffins in the movie that kind of throw you off, to always keep you on your toes with things that are going kind of the things that make you feel uneasy. They just keep throwing it out there. Some of them might not have any kind of story element at all. It's just there to keep you guessing. Okay, what does that mean? Why are they doing this? I don't feel comfortable right now. And so that's why I look at this and I understand. And the ending I did not like, and I can tell you what was going on with the ending and a spoiler right after this. I can tell you real quick what it is, and it's a pet peeve of mine that I don't like. But as far as the film itself goes,
before you get into that, before you wrap it up, how do you feel about how this movie is being advertised compared to what it is?
Well, like I said at the beginning here, man, I'm tired of things being advertised as the scariest movie ever, and I do think that unlike It Comes at Night, this is delivering more on what it's promising. I mean, you look at this, and what's getting people are these freaky images,
right?
And that is what you're getting in this movie. This is the movie is actually, the freaky images is what's pushing people over the line and saying that this is the most frightening thing I've ever seen. Because I've heard articles where people came out and like, man, I don't know why I can't stop thinking about this movie.
Right.
It must be the scariest movie ever. But the reason why you can't stop thinking about it, because they show you these horrible images, man, these freaky images which you just can't get out of your head. with my feelings of, okay, I wasn't scared by this. I'm not even that freaked out by it. There were small moments that did freak me out because I did not see them coming. I'm the guy that goes in the movies and oh, I've seen it all.
I knew this was.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well, okay, you got me. You gonna get me again? Oh shit! You know, that's the way the movie got me, man. And I think, and that's me. Where I walked out, like, it's good. I can sleep tonight. I ain't gonna, I'm not scared. I'm not even that freaked out. I was freaked out in the context of the film, but when I went home, nah, it didn't bother me that much. But the movie did stick with me with what it did. It made me think about it. And that is why I know that people, when they saw this, that is why they probably walked out saying, yeah, this is truly a horrifying experience, because it's, it's just something that that you don't see in an average horror movie. It's so freak more than jump scares. It pitched freakiness more than the supernatural. It really is almost like horror art that nobody could actually make sense of. And when you start, even with a movie like this, when you can't put everything together, you start putting things together yourself. And what is going on in your head, you've already kind of made connections that are probably a lot more horrifying than even what you're seeing on the screen.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like it's an amalgam of a whole bunch of other horror movies that we've seen. And a lot of stuff that we've seen recently. It feels like an amalgam of Split, The Visit, and other horror movies that we have out there that are playing with pseudo similar elements, and it kind of just it doesn't do it as well as those original films did it, and that was something of a letdown, especially with this being an A24 film and having all this beautiful art and a fantastic acting throughout it. It just feels like, all right, you kind of fumbled this at the 10-yard line. Yeah,
and see that, and I understand that, because it's that kind of movie where definitely, man, it's not gonna please everybody. It's too crazy to please everybody. But no, I give it a full price, mostly because I know that it's working for people. And if it was really something that was just hype, I would not give it that. But I know that it's effective. I think the direction in this is why I'm giving it the rating that I am, because he directed it in such a way where he kept delivering something and like I said, bringing you in from the very beginning, structuring this in a way where the normal is crazy. Now we get into the real horror part. That's when the shit's gonna hit the fan and really gonna freak you out. And I think people are walking away from this movie just having this feeling of being freaked out to the whole film, to where it worked for them. Okay. So, yeah, and again, I get it, man. I get it when people, it's that kind of movie.
Yeah, it's a divisive film, and I would never come in and be like, oh, you gave it a full price, so I gave it a rental. When we reviewed this, it was just like, it's gonna work for some people, and for some people it's not, and that's kind of the kind of film that it is. And a lot of A24 films are like this.
Yeah, and like I say, man, I liked it and I admired it, but do I want to see it again? Am I horrified by it? No, not at all.